Everyone's moving to Greenville, South Carolina for the Blue Ridge Mountain views and the small town feel. But there's some areas that are catching newcomers maybe completely off guard. Behind those Instagram perfect neighborhoods, there can be traffic nightmares, some culture shocks, and tax differences that might have you tearing your hair out. So today, I'm breaking down 5 major areas with real market data and insider knowledge from a native. By the end, you'll know exactly which area fits your lifestyle and budget and which ones to avoid and why. Today, I'm starting with the area that gives you the most house for your money with a catch. Let's start with Pattersville. This area gives you the most house for your money in the Greenville area, but there can be a cultural reality that can catch newcomers off guard. But first, let's talk about location. Pattersville sits just 15 minutes from downtown Greenville. That's pretty convenient for most people's commutes. But what makes it different from most other places that we're going to talk about and that people shop for when they decide to move to Greenville is that the Pattersville area is in Anderson County, not Greenville County. And that is amazing because it means lower property taxes right off the bat. So you get a lot of house for your money compared to other areas in Greenville. We're talking a lot of times significantly more square footage for the same budget. Plus, those Anderson County taxes, they're going to save you real money. You're going to thank me for that later. Then there's the schools. The Pattersville schools are some of the most desirable in our area. Fun fact, I actually grew up in the Pattersville and Piedmont area, and I'm a Wren High School graduate. The Pattersville and Piedmont schools, the Wren schools, are a huge draw for families. And honestly, it really is one of the main reasons this area has gotten so popular. As a mom, I get it. The schools are important. So, what is the catch, Meredith? Well, you're going to be living in the South. This is South Carolina, and while it is beautiful and it is friendly, it is a little more rural and it's a little less developed. So if you're not in an HOA, your neighbor across the street or beside you might not take care of their yard the way you do. They might park their car in the yard. If you grew up on a farm like me, you're probably okay with that. And as a kid, I rode up and down the road on a 3-wheeler. But if you're coming from a major city and you buy a big house on a beautiful country road and you see the 10-year-old neighbor next door cruising through on her 3-wheeler, you might not be super thrilled with it. Because Pattersville and Piedmont areas are popular, you can get into some significant traffic during the typical rush hours. Even though you're only 15 minutes to downtown, if you're headed into or out of Greenville during the normal 9 to 5 rush hours, you're going to encounter some significant traffic. Having said all of that, here's who Pattersville and Piedmont really work for. It's perfect for families who want to prioritize space, high-quality schools, and home value. You're going to get more house for your money here than almost anywhere else in the greater Greenville area. But be aware of the trade-offs. There's going to be a cultural adjustment if you're expecting suburban uniformity. And that rush hour congestion, it might be an issue if you don't work from home. So just be aware. All of these things about Pattersville are nothing compared to Travelers Rest. But before we get there, make sure to subscribe for more neighborhood insights, home tours, and market breakdowns in Greenville, South Carolina. I'll always keep you up to date. The second area I'm going to talk about is Travelers Rest. Travelers Rest is amazing because it's 15 minutes from downtown. It's located on the northwest side of Greenville County and is beautiful because you can see those Blue Ridge Mountains. In TR, as we call it, you've got established neighborhoods, you're close to Pierce Mountain State Park, and most of the time, you're really close to the Swamp Rabbit Trail. Plus, the downtown scene that's been created here is special. Main Street is filled with authentic, small town restaurants, breweries, coffee shops, and retail shops where you can buy everything from plants, Here's to you, Wilder and TR, to Home Goods. Shopping at Urban Hair is one of my favorite things to do. And you can have ice cream, you can have tacos, you can pretty much find everything you need on Main Street in Travelers Rest. There's a bookstore, there's an antique store, there's just a little bit of everything. According to recent data, the average home value is around $347,000 in TR, although actual sale prices have been running higher. Just this June, median sale price hit $490,000. Here's the truth. Travelers Rest is a small town. It's a very small town, and it's a town that's growing and surging in popularity. And with that comes some growing pains. Down the road, you could be dealing with some traffic the roads aren't yet quite ready to handle. You're also going to see a little bit higher prices in Travelers Rest because there's just not as much inventory and fewer choices. Here's something else you should know. Travelers Rest is kind of like the Powdersville area. When you get outside of the main business district, you're out in the county, you're going to see some diversity in property types and how people care for their property. And just be aware, if you're outside of an HOA and you're in the Travelers Rest area, you might see some differences in how people take care of their properties. If you want to prioritize an active lifestyle, if you always want to see the mountains, if you are into that small town mountain charm, Travelers Rest is your spot. Just be prepared for limited inventory and premium pricing. Who should consider Travelers Rest? This area is perfect if you prioritize natural beauty, outdoor recreation, and that authentic mountain town charm. If trail access and mountain views matter to you, this could be your spot. Just be prepared for limited inventory and premium pricing for that lifestyle. Area number 3 is Greenville's downtown. It's amazing. It has a huge tourism draw, and all the work that leaders and the public and private collaboration have done to make downtown Greenville what it is really incredible. You get true walkability, Falls Park on the Reedy River right in your backyard, an incredible restaurant scene, cultural events, and that small southern city charm that's made it so desirable. Main Street is lined with everything from casual spots to fine dining. There are festivals and events year-round, and you can walk to work, entertainment, and honestly, pretty much everything you need. The Peace Center brings in national touring acts, Broadway shows. Falls Park hosts concerts and festivals, and the West End has become an incredible food and entertainment destination that's gotten recognition from places like Food and Wine, Southern Living, Garden and Gun, and other major travel publications. But let's be realistic. Downtown Greenville is expensive to live in. You're going to pay a pretty high price for a home to actually live downtown. According to some data I was able to get, the median home sale price from February to June for downtown was just under $800,000. If you're looking at price per square foot, it's just under $500. Downtown is not quiet. While it is a small city, it is a city. So if you live downtown, you are living in the middle of a city, even though it's a small southern city. You're living in a tourist destination, so Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays are going to have that tourist hustle and bustle. It's going to be obvious that you live in a popular place. Some people love that, some people don't. So if you don't want to be where everybody wants to be, you might not want to be downtown. We have all the normal challenges of any growing city. Greenville is a beautiful, clean, safe city, but it is a city. Now, who should look to live downtown? I think people who want a walkable urban lifestyle and are willing to invest in it. Maybe it's empty nesters, young professionals, or people who just want to be in the heart of the cultural scene. It might be a little more expensive to get in, but downtown Greenville is a strong investment. Area number 4 is Woodruff, and I'm highlighting this area because it's close to BMW's North American headquarters. BMW is building a massive new training facility on Highway 101, which is the main highway that runs into Woodruff. While Woodruff sits kind of between Greenville and Spartanburg, it's very convenient to the airport, very convenient to BMW, and also to Michelin, to Pelham Road, and some of the northern parts of the city and county of Greenville. The affordability in Woodruff is striking. Recent median sale prices have been right around $265,000 up to $340,000. That price per square foot is right at $150. Compare that to downtown's almost $500, and you're talking about serious value. More house for less money. Woodruff is at least 30 minutes from downtown. It is very much a suburb. It's a lot of new development. And for those of you who love the brand new cookie cutter developments from the national builders, the big, beautiful, kind of similar homes, you're going to love Woodruff. And there are people who love that. You're going to get a ton of house for your money, but here's the trade-off. If you want to be close to everything, Woodruff is not it. If you're in Woodruff, you are out in a suburb. You're probably eventually going to deal with more traffic as the area continues to grow and folks start to discover Woodruff. You want to be willing to stay in Woodruff for a few years because resale might take longer. Days on the market out in Woodruff is higher than other parts of our market, and it's giving buyers more leverage now. Who should consider Woodruff? This is perfect for BMW or Michelin employees or anyone who maybe wants to work in that Spartanburg County corridor. People who want new construction and value without being too far from all of the amenities, and if you're thinking long-term with your investment. The corporate growth in this area suggests strong future appreciation potential. Area number 5 is Malden, the sweet spot. I think Malden gets overlooked because it's kind of on the way to Simpsonville, and everybody knows about Simpsonville, but Malden is a pretty great location because, again, you're 10 to 15 minutes to downtown. You've got very desirable schools, and there's a lot of established neighborhoods. The prices are still pretty competitive, and you're close to all of the amenities of downtown, Woodruff Road, and the airport. I think the schools here are what set Malden apart. These are the ratings from the South Carolina Department of Education. Oakview Elementary gets a 10 out of 10. Monarch Elementary gets a 10 out of 10. J.L. Mann gets a 10 out of 10. And Malden High School, Go Malden Mavericks, gets a 9 out of 10. Malden Middle School gets an 8 out of 10 ranking. Those are exceptional school ratings. They're hard to beat anywhere in the state. You can find your own data on the schools, but that's some pretty interesting information to be aware of. There's exciting things happening in Malden, not just with the schools. The new Bridgeway development is where our new pro soccer stadium is going to eventually be located. There are commitments for the Swamp Rabbit Trail to come through Malden, right at Bridgeway Station, on its way to Simpsonville and Fountain Inn. That's a huge thing for property values and homeowner equity. You are also positioned perfectly for convenience in Malden. It's close to 385, easy access to the Haywood area, all of the Woodruff Road shopping, but you don't have to deal with the daily congestion of living right on those busy corridors. Here's the honest take. Malden is crowded and there's traffic. There are busy roads. My daughter used to take ballet in Malden. If you want to be close to everything, if you want a little more house for your money, and you don't want to be out in Simpsonville, Malden is kind of the halfway point, but you could consider that a downside too. You're halfway. You're not quite in Greenville. You're not quite in Simpsonville. You're kind of in between, but if you love it, you love it. And if you don't, you're just kind of out there in the traffic. Who should consider Malden? I think it's perfect for families who want excellent schools with a reasonable commute. I think it's perfect for people who want established neighborhoods without being so far out in Simpsonville. The investment upside in Malden, I believe, is real with the Bridgeway development and Swamp Rabbit Trail connections that are coming. But you have to be okay with that in-between location and traffic on the main corridors. So there you have it. 5 very different areas. One I grew up in, one where I live now, each of these areas with their own personality and advantages. The key is matching what matters most to you with what each area offers best. Make sure to subscribe to my channel for more neighborhood insights, home tours, and market updates. And if you're serious about making a move move to Greenville, all my contact information is in the description below. I'd love to help you find the right area that fits your lifestyles and your goals. If you're considering a move to Greenville or want to explore these neighborhoods in detail, shoot me an email at meredith@gvlbucketlist.com. I would love to help you personally. And if you want to know what the best places to live near all that walkability on the Swamp Rabbit Trail are, check out this video next. See you next week.